Welcome to Blend with TechWorks, where we talk about technology, product, and building with people in mind. I'm your host, Kamil. Today, we're looking at a question a lot of engineering teams and their leadership are wrestling with. How do you build responsibly with AI? And what does productivity really means now that we've got code generation, summarization, and other AI tools? I'm joined by a product leader who's been right in the middle of this building AI-enabled tools, figuring out the balance between speed and accuracy, and making the tough calls on what ships. Chris, glad you could join us.
Thanks. I've listened for a while, so yeah, it's nice to finally be here.
Let's start with the big one. AI can speed up development a lot, but is that helping developers grow or it's chipping away at their core skills?
Honestly, a bit of both. These tools can close down its gaps and help a team move faster, but if you lean on them too much, your foundation skills can take a hit. I think of them like scaffolding. You still need to know how to build, but they can help you get there faster.
That's a good image. I imagine it's especially tricky for junior devs, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Seniors can look at AI generated code and spot problems right away. And in client projects, you've seen cases where AI generated code from a client's own team wasn't reviewed thoroughly. The resulting bugs delayed releases, hurt customer confidence, and in enterprise cases, even risked contractual penalties.
So it sounds like the tool itself isn't the problem. It's the way it's integrated into the workflows.
Exactly. I have seen teams that use AI as a coach. It suggests approaches, and the developer still writes or heavily modifies the code. That keeps skills sharp. On the flip side, I've also seen teams paste prompts and take whatever comes out and push it to production, and that's where the trouble starts.
Well, so are you saying it's about discipline and process as much as the tool itself?
Right. The best results happen when you keep humans in the loop. Code review, testing, and mentoring, so AI becomes an accelerator, not a crutch.
So, let me move on to, what it really means that have you had the time when AI felt like a shortcut but ended up setting you back?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was working on a data transformation script and needed a specific date format. I asked AI to write it. They looked fine, my tests passed. But a week later, he found a bug in certain edge cases, tracked it back to that block of code. That quick 5-minute fix ended up costing hours.
That's painful, man. And in business terms, that's hours of billable work or lost market time.
For a client, that could mean missing a milestone or delaying an integration that's tied to revenue. That's why we stress at TechWorks speed is only valuable if it's paired with verification.
So it's like talking. It's like taking a shortcut on a road trip, only to find out the bridge is out halfway through.
Yes, and you burn gas, time, and possibly your reputation along the way.
Do they pay you for the gas?
Well, they certainly pay me for the time.
So for teams listening, the takeaway is quick wins are only wins if they're verified. Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So Chris, let's flip it. Where have you seen AI really, really make a difference?
For me, it's the early stages. Idea validation, quick prototypes, early experiments. You can get something in front of a PM or a customer faster. The sort of production code where it gives you a tangible starting point.
So more about helping you get moving than replacing the engineer, is it?
Absolutely. The best results come when AI removes that blank page delay. We've seen in some client engagements that early AI momentum can cut off weeks from discovery. But if the initial foundation is often set before we're involved, it isn't sound, that gain gets kind of lost in the rework.
So can you give me an example?
Sure. One client wanted to test a recommendation engine for the e-commerce site. AI helped us spin up a prototype in 2 days. The project manager could demonstrate it to stakeholders, gather feedback, and pivot the requirements before we even touched the full build. That saved thousands in dev hours.
Interesting. So the early draft wasn't perfect, but as you went on, it got the conversation.
Exactly. That's the idea.
So let's talk a bit about designer's workflow. The project manager to designer workflow. I think that's a lot talked about subject. So
Yeah.
I've heard some teams are trying this thing where PMs use AI to make wireframes and then hand them to designers to refine. Do you really think that works?
Well, that depends. It sounds logical at first. The PM owns the problem, so they can throw something together quickly, skip the blank page, like I said, and get the team talking. In theory, that could cut off days of early design work and bring go-to-market forward.
So you're saying that it's faster handoff and faster release?
That's the hope. And in a few cases, you do see it happen. So I remember a SaaS company that used this approach to get an internal data out 2 weeks ahead of schedule. But when I spoke to their design lead later, they said half that time savings was lost fixing flaw flows from the AI draft. We've encountered this with some client teams we've supported. AI-generated designs that accelerate the start, but end up creating extra work later. And for business, that means wasted cycle times and higher development costs and slower customer delivery. So in markets where time to market is tied to revenue, retail launches, seasonal campaigns, like SaaS rollouts, that can be costly slip.
So eventually, I think we're going to get there. That's a given fact. Workflows will actually be done through these AI tools, and eventually, things will better improve. And I can see a lot of guys, a lot of folks are actually doing that. So I believe it's with time, it's definitely going to, change how things are happening today. So the quick start came with the cost, as you said, right?
Yes. And I kind of agree with you there, Kamil. That is the future, yes. But we have to understand that AI is there as an accelerator. Like I said before, it's an enabler. So that's why we should be guiding PMs to use that as a communication aid.
So let's pivot a little bit to our conversation and talk about intentions. So what I really want to talk about is building AI products. You've been through it. What's the principle you keep coming back to?
Well, for me, it's simple. Start with a real problem, not a shiny idea. At TechWorks, before we add AI to anything, we ask, what's the measurable pain point? How will this move the needle for the user and the business?
Yeah, I mean, the because we can trap.
One of my favorite examples is using AI to auto-sort support tickets. It's not glamorous, but for one client, it cut resolution times by 30%. That had a direct business impact. Help your customers and lower support costs, all that.
That's impressive, man. That's pretty cool. I mean, cutting things by 30%, adding so much value, and as you said, lowering down support costs.
Absolutely. That's what Euro rewards are for.
Yeah, for sure. So, Chris, on the flip side, you've got to know when to walk away from an idea, right? So, when does that moment of truth really comes for you?
Just because something is technically plausible doesn't make it worth building. So, and especially in regulated spaces like finance or healthcare, the Chicago explained the AI's decision making. You might be taking on compliance risks that can cost millions.
So, cutting a feature any feature early can be the smart move.
And some client projects we've advised on, we've recommended dropping AI features mid-build when explainability wasn't strong enough to, need compliance or business needs. It's better to pivot early than launch something that creates more liability than value.
Okay, so you do build it, but then how do you know if it's working or not?
We look at adoption, feedback, and efficiency, but you also run ROI checks. Is the feature delivering enough value to justify the model cost?
Well, because compute isn't cheap.
Exactly. We've advised clients to sunset features that you dislike but couldn't justify economically. The cost to run outweighed the value delivered. Economics matters as much as experience.
Right. So, what's next for you? Anything you're excited about?
Yeah, smarter document recognition, better automation workflows. And I'm excited about pairing AI with deterministic logic. At TechWorks, we've done this, replies, where the AI handles the creative, but the validation is done by strict business rules. So that hybrid model means speed without sacrificing.
So what's next for you? Anything you're excited about?
Yeah, smarter document recognition, better automation workflows. And I'm excited about pairing AI with deterministic logic. At TechWorks, we've done this for clients where the AI handles the creative, but the validation is done by strict business rules. That hybrid model means speed without sacrificing accuracy.
So not every problem needs an LLM. That's how I look at it. But that ties into something you've said before. Not every problem needs a LLM. I mean, in one of our discussions,
Right.
this is something that you really pointed out.
Right, because, sometimes the simplest solution wins. As they say, the shortest distance from point A to point B is a straight line. If you need to extract specific data from structured documents, a Regex script might be faster, cheaper, and more accurate than a big AI model. We've saved clients significant operational costs by choosing the lighter tool for the job.
So how are you, Chris, seeing dev teams use AI in a day-to-day, not in products, but in their own work? Because this is a conversation that I often end up having with the dev teams. And most of the times they have a very, each one of them has their own unique way of it. But, if you had to kind of bring everything together, what would you say?
I would say that devs need to focus on unique logic. So the, scaffolding features like, getting debugging suggestions or generating documentation, writing tests. At TechWorks, we integrate AI into our dev process. It shortens iteration cycles for clients, but you pair that with code review and QA. So nothing slipped through, unverified.
So, Chris, here comes something more personal that I would like to ask you. When it comes to you, how do you use AI that way?
No, I use it all the time. I'll give it a solution and say, tell me 3 ways this could fail, or, what's a different approach I haven't caught of. It's like having a colleague who's like available 24/7, my own personal thing.
And sometimes it, I'm sure, argues with you as well.
It does, and that's kind of the point, isn't it? You want something to challenge your thinking, not just nod along.
Well, are you married?
Yeah. Yes, I.
So you're now arguing with 2 people then?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
No
But,
offense, ladies, no offense. That was just something that generally men talk about.
Yeah, next sometimes.
Take it with a pinch of salt.
Sometimes make me think next we think, though. Next you want. It would have been better to be married to a robot.
And of course, it's not intelligence in the human sense.
That's right. It's pattern prediction. So once you understand, it's understood that, you treat it like what it is, which is it's a powerful tool that still needs human oversight.
So, Chris, moving towards the end of it, one of the last questions that I'd like to ask you is, what do you think benefits the most from AI in coding?
I would say senior developers, no question, because they know enough to validate and shape the output. For juniors, it's riskier because without guidance, AI can become a shortcut that slows their growth. That's why at TechWorks, mentorship is baked into how we introduce AI into a team's workflow.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, that's. I hope everybody's listening to that. It's very important to get that, validation. You should really know what you're getting your hands into. So, on that note, we end. And thank you so much for joining us on Blend with TechWorks. So, guys, if you're building with AI or rethinking your dev process, hopefully this gives you a few things to think about, both in the code and in the business plan.
Yeah, well said, Kabul, and thank you for having me here. It's been great, great talking to you.
Yes, Chris, see you next time. And do let us know how you felt about this podcast. Give us some feedback. If you have more questions and more subjects that you'd like to listen about, shoot us an email or just put that in the comments. Ciao.